is a CSA alumna, batch 2012. She's a fresh graduate from the Assumption College, San Lorenzo, holding a degree in communications, major in media production, and was awarded magna cum laude and best thesis for communications. Currently, she is working at Key Media International, a global media firm with products that operates across key business verticals such as finance, education, and human resources. She is also a part-time singer and host, performing at various events. However, for today, she is here to share with us what she calls her night job. Okay? Our speaker is a big fan of is a big fan girl of books, sorry, and she was the administrator of three popular book slash movie fan clubs in the Philippines. Okay, though currently she has given the role to her successors and is now focusing on her own writing and blogging. Okay. As of the moment, she has two manuscripts being considered for publication, and we are hoping that her dream of becoming a published author would come true very soon. In celebration again of our English month, our speaker will share her passion and for writing and tell her story on how she fell in love with words and what made her want to pursue a career in the literary industry. She hopes to inspire the youth into writing their own stories as well, and today gives her a great opportunity to just to do just that as she shares with you her beginnings as a writer, her struggles in sharing her works in the online community, and her inspirations for her books. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Miss Katrina Ricarte, also known under the pen name Kaye Allen.
Hello again. Hi, good morning everyone. Well, you still do that greeting. Good morning. Did you have your break? Were you able to eat? Doesn't seem like it though. Let's try it again. How is everyone doing? Okay na ba yun, Matt? Okay, Matt, this is my brother. So he was actually the one who invited me here. I was told that I was going to share about my writing experiences. So as you can see here in the PowerPoint, it's called Plots, Twists, and Everything in Between. I decided to entitle my presentation with that. It's actually one of my write-ups, which I've written back in college. It was during film class, and my professor was, are you familiar with teleseries in ABS-CBN? He was actually the writer for On the Wings of Love. Yes. So it was while we were having class, and he would show a PowerPoint. I would see on his desktop scripts for On the Wings of Love, and he would tell him, "Can we see what's happening?" So, but he never showed us. So, oh well. So during film class, he asked us to write about our first love. So as a college student, of course, everyone would write about their boyfriends or their first love, their high school sweethearts. But he was very intrigued by what I've written because what I wrote about was how I fell in love with writing. So, yeah, I know, right? He reacted, huh? Bakit ganon? All right, so here's the thing. So, how old are you? You're around 14, 13, 14, 15. Oh, there's 12. So when I was very young, I always wanted to be a singer. That was my dream. So if you listened to the intro a while ago, I'm also a part-time host and singer. So when I was very young, I wanted to be a singer. My main goal was to be the voice of a Disney princess. Yeah, that was my big dream talaga. And then when I was around 7 or 8, I wanted to go to Broadway. I wanted to perform on Broadway. So my idol was Miss Lea Salonga, because she wasn't only a Broadway star, she was also a voice of a Disney princess. She was Princess Jasmine and Mulan, right? So she was, that was my goal in life, to be a singer and a Broadway performer. But then around your age, my dad, I can still remember that day. We went to a bookstore. It was in Robinson's Galleria. But the bookstore is no longer there. Are you familiar with Bestseller? Yeah, it's under National Bookstore, right? There was this big bookstore in Robinson's Galleria before, but now it's a different store right now. And then he told me to buy a book, and I was like, why? Like, because I read so much in school already. We have the book reports, right? I remember reading The Secret Garden, Island of the Blue Dolphins for the book reports. And yeah, reading was okay, but it wasn't something that I really liked doing, I would choose doing. Like, I would rather watch the movie instead of reading the book. Yeah, do you agree? But then I came across this book. This is The Little White Horse by Elizabeth Gouch. So what made me choose this book was because I've already watched the movie. When I read the blurb, it was the story of The Secret of Moonacre. Are you all familiar with the movie? It's not that popular, but it's a middle school book, and it's a fantasy story about this girl who was orphaned at a very young age, and she was sent to this manor where her cousin lives and is now her legal guardian. And the thing is, the estate and the whole vicinity of the place is actually has actually magic, and she's supposed to fulfill this prophecy. So I was reading through the book, and I realized there was a lot of things that wasn't in the movie, and I thought that, wow, it could have been more amazing if they put this and that into the movie. So that was the start of how I got into reading. After that, I went to that bookstore every single weekend to buy a new book, until it came to a point that it's not even every weekend anymore. If I have time on the weekdays, I would buy a book. And then I visited the library more. Because, come on, I can't waste all my allowance on just books, right? So I started borrowing a lot of books until this is my collection. This is my bookshelf. I took this about a year ago. So it's not even like that anymore. Nagdo-double parking na ako, as what my dad would say. So there's like more now. So I've collected so many books that the bookshelf is actually a gift from my mom for my birthday last year, because my books were already overflowing for my other shelf. So she had me one made, and I told her I want it to go from the floor to the ceilings. So because my dream is to have a library of my own. There. So I have a lot of books. So you can imagine what I do on my free time is just read, and read. So from reading, I think for most people, what happens next is you became a fan of a book. But after you become a fan, you started craving for sequels, for wanting to write about what if this character lived, or what if this character ended up with this character? What if Draco Malfoy ended up with Hermione? Yeah? Oh, there's a lot of there's a lot of fans for Draco and Hermione. Yeah, so the book series, which I really liked, which is the book series which I really liked was the Percy Jackson series. Oh, I see there are a lot of demigods in this place. Yes, so that's my close friend, Percy Jackson. So I really liked the series. The first 5 books I read within a week. And then I actually reread the whole thing again. And then there's a second series, right? I actually read them all again twice. See? So what I really liked about it was not only fantasy, but it had Greek mythology. Back in grade school, I was a big Greek myth geek. I love reading about Greek mythologies, the gods and goddesses. I memorized all of them. Until now, actually. I thought my thesis was going to be about Greek mythology, but I ended up with a different title because, oh well, anyway. So when I became a fan, I went into making fan clubs. So it was around 2010, so I was around first year, second year high school, and I made Camp Half-Blood Philippines. Yeah, I think you can still see this on Facebook. If it's a Facebook fan page. So we were the biggest in the Philippines. What we do was we talk about the books, we hold games, we give away prizes, books. We had an event before in Fully Booked. It was called Anaklismus 2010. Anaklismus was the sword of Percy Jackson. And what we did there was we talked about the movie, which was released that year. And we played Capture the Flag inside Fully Booked. Yeah, it was a funny experience because while we were playing Capture the Flags, some of the salespeople there were kind of complaining because we were a bit excited. We were hiding red and blue construction papers in between books, and then the kids would run around looking for it. But it was very fun. We have yet to make another event, though I think there's another one upcoming. I'm no longer the camp activities director for Camp Half-Blood Philippines, simply because I'm way too busy with school and work now, so I gave it to my successors. But I still participate when I have time. We also built Hunger Games Philippines. Yeah, but I wasn't the leader for this, so I was like kind of like an officer lang. And we also had Divergent Philippines. So I was a really big fangirl of books, and I loved participating in groups and fan clubs until there was that year when someone told me that, do you write fan fiction? And I was wondering, what fan fiction? As in like writing, getting elements from a story and then putting it into your own writing like that. So a while ago, Miss Manny explained what fan fiction is. So fan fiction is basically writing something based from a movie, a book, or a celebrity. So this is exactly how I got started writing. The first fan fiction that I've written was for the Percy Jackson series, and it was entitled The Great Huntress. Yeah. So actually last night, I came back to my Wattpad page and scrolled through my stories. Yeah. So sorry? Of course, you want to read my work? Okay, later, I'll get more into that later. So I looked back into it, and it was The Great Huntress, and I was cringing so much because it's been years. It's been about 6 or 7 years since I've written that fan fiction. So my writing wasn't that good yet, and it was so different. It was like another person was writing that then. But I do remember the plot still. So basically, it was about this girl who went into a quest with Percy and his team, Annabeth and Grover. So they went on a quest. They fought monsters. So I remember doing a lot of research for monsters and on Greek mythology gods and goddesses. I wanted to focus on the minor gods and goddesses because I think they don't get enough of the limelight. So that's what I focused on. All right. So before I move on, I mentioned Wattpad. Yes, so we mentioned Wattpad. So I have about three goodies here, and I'm going to show like a few logos of writing websites, and if you know the answer of what website that is, just raise your hand, and I can give you one of those goodies if you answer correctly. All right? Is that cool? I was supposed to give more, but a mishap happened. So I'm not gonna go into that, but yeah. Okay, so here's the first one. Just raise your hands. I don't want anyone running. I don't want anyone hurting themselves. So this is the first logo. Who's first? I should have thought about this more. Okay, I want to call you on because you're so eager. Okay, what website is this? Tumblr. Is he correct? No. Is there another website with the same logo? Really? I'm not familiar. Okay, so he was right. This is Tumblr. This is actually the current website which I'm really focusing on. Yeah, so you get a sneaker and a couple of bookmarks from my book. Okay? That's from my book. Right, don't worry, there's another one. Are you ready? Miss Manny will choose this time, okay? Ready? Okay, someone there. The guy with glasses, Miss Manny. You don't know? Oh, let's call a girl on this time. How about the one at the back? Yeah, you. What's your name? What's your name? Sorry? Anika? Oh, that's a pretty name. Okay, so what's the answer? Fanfiction.net. Yes, that's right. Alright, so you get a prize. You get a Snicker bar. Who loves Snickers? I love Snickers. Okay, this one is not part of the question since I already mentioned this. No. It's not part of the question anymore since it's part of Wattpad. Okay, so I have one Snicker bar left. So I'm going to choose a more challenging one. So this one. This one is a bit challenging because it's not that popular. Right? A guy in the middle. Sorry? It's not Amazon. Yes, it's A, but it's not Amazon. Amazon is started out as a bookseller before it sold other things, by the way. That's a good trivia. Anyone who knows? Wait, let's give chance to others. There's one? Yes, you, yeah. Sorry? No? Yeah, it's not that popular, but I actually write for this site. Yeah. AwesomeFanfictions.com. Do you have your own website? Because I haven't heard of that fanfic site. So you don't know? Alright, I'll skip to another one. This is actually Asian fanfics. Asian fanfics. So it's solely for Asian fanfictions. The fanfics that you see here mostly are from K-pop celebrities. There are a lot of them here. Alright, here's another challenging one. Come on, the battle for the last Snicker bar. This one. It's a writing site. It's not only fanfiction. Someone there? It's really challenging now. Google? I don't think Google has that logo yet. Mongol? The pencil? What? Do you guys know? Not that? I have another one. Nobody knows. Okay, this is Live Journal. Yeah. Okay, this is more popular than this one. This one is more popular.